So
made up right away.
the first half, we kind of just reiterated how to reprogram our mind. The way we reprogram it is the key is to consistently engage in practices that reinforce our desired mindset. What are some IMs you would like to have that maybe you don't have? That's a desired mindset. I would like to be confident. I'd like to be... What are some IMs you wish you could say? That's a desired mindset. What would you have to practice in order for you to believe that I am? Like if you want to be a confident person, what would you have to practice in order to become? There you go.
I am the best version of myself.
Amen. Very good. And that version's only going to get better.
What about if you want to be emotionally strong, then what do you have to do?
So you want to have emotional intelligence. So if you want emotional intelligence, we have to practice on how to manage it, practice how to identify what emotions take us out. In order for me to be intelligent in something, I must study it. So if you want to have emotional intelligence, you have to study your emotions. What emotion takes you out? So if you want to be emotionally sound, you're going to have to practice asking for help, processing, not allowing your feeling to dictate action, allow your feelings to dictate thought before action. Like my frustration triggers like, oh, you're going to go do this, it's going to get you in trouble now, right? Because I've been practicing it. Very good, though. So distractions from our goals can stem from internal factors like negative self-talk, lack of focus, and procrastination, as well as external factors like social media, noise, and a lack of clear planning. It's okay. Essentially, anything that pulls our attention away from the task at hand. What usually takes your attention away from doing the work? Anything?
Emotions.
We're going to go through some right now.
Anxiety.
Yes, anxiety, without a doubt. Procrastination, putting off tasks or making excuses to delay progress. That's a distraction. In order for us to procrastinate, you must manipulate yourself first, though. For instance, convince yourself that you're tired. Maybe you're not. Convince yourself you're not ready when maybe you are. Convince yourself that you don't know enough yet. Until you know it, you'll go do it. We'll convince ourselves of something which allows us to procrastinate. Lack of focus. If you're having difficulty concentrating or staying on a task, that's a distraction. What makes you lose focus? What can make us lose focus?
People's opinions.
Very good. People's opinions. Thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. That's a distraction. The grass is greener where you water it at. Right? So we got to water our own grass. How do we water our own grass? By consistently engaging in practices. The more we practice something, the more you're watering your grass. The better your grass is going to look because the better you're getting at things. All right? Fear of failure is a major distraction. Major distraction.
Yeah.
So that's why I changed the definition of failure. My definition of failure is not the opposite of success. It's on the path to success. My definition of success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. You see how it took away what failure is to me? What does failure mean to you? How do you interpret failure? Is it on the path to success? Is it telling you that you're doing something wrong? Failure is not that you're doing it wrong. Failure is that you just can't do it that way anymore. That's what failure is teaching you. Failure is not teaching you you're not smart enough. Failure is not showing you you're not capable. Failure is just showing you that however you just did what you did is not going to work out that way. So we need to learn why we failed at it, and then we need to practice something new. And then if that doesn't work out, then you need to practice something new. So that's why I told myself my success is failing but not losing enthusiasm. My success is determined on my mindset while I fail. So what is your definition of success? What would make you feel successful? Do you have something that comes to mind? What would make you feel like a successful person? There's nothing wrong with your answer. Some people, their success is based on their clean days. Hey, that's how they judge it. That's fine if that's how they want to do it. I don't do it that way. But that doesn't mean it can't work for you that way.
When things are flowing naturally and effortlessly, I know I'm in the will of God.
Amen.
That's how...
Rhythm and balance. Good. Anybody else? What is something that makes you feel successful? What? All right, there you go. Very good. What is your definition of success? Is success when you get something, or is success the work it takes to get it?
The work it takes to get it.
Very good. That's a good mindset to have, right? Because if success is getting something, what happens if you're not getting things? You're not going to feel successful. So me getting something is a result of my success. For instance, the money in my pocket is not my success. What I do to make the money is my success. The money is a result of me going to work every day. Right? So we have to now start seeing, what is your definition of success? What's going to make you feel successful? Is it when you get something, or is it the work you need to take to get it? Meaning failing and learning, asking for help, making mistakes, not giving up. To me, that's what success is.
For me, it's about my integrity staying intact.
Very good. Very good. That's a great, great way. My success is determined on my integrity. That would be a great mindset to have.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're doing all the work when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
The success people see in society is a result of the work being done behind closed doors. So when you see someone very successful in society, it's because they're putting in work behind closed doors. You know, we'll have these overnight success people, right? They're not overnight success.
Right.
They've been practicing their craft for a minute. You just
100%.
haven't knew about them.
100%.
Now you know about them, so like, oh, they're overnight success. No, they're not. They've been practicing for a while, all right? So, fear of failure is a definite distraction. Will be hesitant to pursue goals due to possibility of failure. Has anyone ever experienced that?
Yes.
Has anyone not tried to do something because they thought they were going to fail at it? Mm-hmm. You see how that fear of failure distracted you from actually applying yourself to something?
100%.
So failure, F-A-I-L, that's how we spell fail, right? First attempt in learning.
Yeah.
That's what fail is. A lot of us failed in active addiction. What happened when we failed in active addiction? If failure stopped us, none of us would be in these seats, by the way. A lot of us failed in active addiction. What did it do? It taught us, didn't it? When I got caught boosting, it didn't stop me from boosting. What did it make me do? Get better at boosting. How? By watching people, asking other people how they getting away with it. So I actually went to people to what? Teach me, because I was failing at it. So who are you guys going to teach you on what you've been failing at? Because if you don't have anybody helping you, it's going to be very difficult. Active addiction, we needed help, no? We needed to manipulate people for money. We needed to rob people. You needed a drug dealer. You needed something, a dirty doctor, something.
Right.
We got a lot of help in active addiction. You might think you're doing it on your own. You ain't doing nothing on your own in active addiction. You might be sticking the needle in your arm by yourself. But to get those drugs, you didn't do it on your own. You need some sort of help somewhere. Right? So, fear of failure. We're going to have to change our mindset towards failure. You got to change your mindset. In order to change the mindset, I have to consistently tell myself that failure is part of the path when I'm failing. I have to consistently, that's self-talk. Self-talk is the program you install into your computer, which is the brain. So whatever program you're operating on is based off your self-talk, how you're communicating with things. When things happen to you, how are you communicating with it? What's the communication like? Unrealistic goals, believe it or not, are a distraction. For instance, right now you want to make $1 million. Might be a little unrealistic for you right now. Just right now. Not saying all together. I'm saying right now it might be unrealistic for you to actually start a business for yourself. Right now you might have to do something else for yourself before you start the business. So, could there possibly be an unrealistic goal? Like getting things back overnight is an unrealistic goal. Changing our lives in a tremendous change within a couple months could possibly be an unrealistic goal for some.
I always think that if I could just hear the right tool, I can fix everything right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm learning it's a journey.
Setting goals that are too ambitious or difficult to achieve leads to discouragement. Believe it or not. So if you are setting a goal that you don't have the habits right now to achieve it, you're going to get discouraged with yourself.
That makes sense.
Right? So if you do want to be a business owner, nothing wrong with that. But do you have the habits of a business owner right now? Do you have financial intelligence? Do you know how to manage? Do you know how to work finances? Do you know how to have the habits of a business owner? Are you able to make sacrifices in your life right now? Are you having a little trouble making sacrifices? Business owners got to know how to make sacrifices.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, whatever goal that you have right now, do you have the habits to achieve it? If not, that's where you work on first. The habits. You're not going to get what you want just because you want it. Don't let anybody lie to you. We only get the things our habits could produce. There's a lot of things I want in my life right now that I don't have. You want to know why? I ain't got the habits for it yet. And that's just period.
That's smart.
I got to develop the habits before I actually get it.
Smart.
Because if I get it before I have the habits, you know what happens? We lose it. Why? Because we're not consistently engaging in practices that reinforce it. So we're good at getting things, we're not good at keeping it. We're good at getting sober. We're not good at staying sober. We're good at getting a job. We're not good at keeping a job. We're good at getting in a relationship. We're not good at staying in the relationship. So the mindset can't be chasing or getting, because you're going to get it, but you're not going to keep it. The mindset is, how do I keep it when I get it? So then, how do you lose it when you have it is the next question. What aren't we practicing consistently that allows us to keep losing the job and keep losing our sobriety and keep losing the relationship? What aren't we practicing that's making us lose it?
That's really smart.
Learning from our mistakes, basically.
And failure. Failure is like the number one thing that took me out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fail because of my ego.
Mm-hmm.
Because your perception of me was more important than the perception of myself. So I needed you to think I was smart in order for me to feel smart. I needed you to think I was a good person in order to feel like a good person. That's like the drugs, just without taking the drugs. I'm using you to make me feel something that's false. Like the drugs. Drugs gave me a false sense of security, right? A false sense of comfort. You want to say something?
No.
All right. Oh, no, I thought you were raising, right? So fear of failure, unrealistic goals, impatience. Impatience is a distraction. It is. But listen,
Early, you know?
listen to how I'm going to break this down. I might help you out a little bit. It's a lack of willingness to wait for results. When we're impatient, it's the lack of willingness to wait for the results.
Wow.
That's why I didn't drink alcohol. It took too long. I only did drugs that would hit me instantly. The only time I drank alcohol was to do more coke. It's the only time I ever drank alcohol. Right? Because I didn't want to wait. I don't want to have to take a couple drinks and wait around. No, I want to pop a pill. I want to get something in me that I'm going to feel right away. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for the results. That's the type of drug addict I was anyway.
Yeah.
So when we're being impatient, that's the lack of willingness to wait for results. It's a different way to look at it, right? Which can lead to abandoning your goals prematurely.
Wow.
So, when we don't hit our goal, right? Sometimes we'll change the goal, if you've noticed. If you notice, if you give yourself a goal and you don't achieve it, do you change it? Because I used to change it. And I used to change it to what? A lesser goal. What I mean is, all right, Mike, you can't use for the rest of your life. Wasn't able to accomplish that. So you know what I did? I just use on the weekends. I changed the goal. Realized I couldn't do that. All right, so don't use at work. Realized I couldn't do that. All right, don't use with the girl. Couldn't do that. So I started to lower the goal When in reality, the goal was right. I chose the right goal for myself, but this what was wrong. My plan to achieve the goal was wrong. So when we're not achieving our goals, what's wrong is not us. It's this. The plan needs to change, not the goal. The goal was right. The plan was wrong. So that's why I need my failure to teach me rather than define. Because if failure's teaching me, then I know how to revise my plan. Determining on why I failed. Oh, you know what? I failed because I was trying to do this by myself. All right, let me try this again. But let me call somebody now. And if that works out, cool. Now I'm a little bit further. And then something else is going to happen. And I'm going to have to change that. So failure to me is more beneficial than success. I want to fail more than I succeed. Why? Success makes us feel like we're doing something right. We get really complacent with success. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. Anybody get real complacent with success, where success made you feel like you didn't have to maybe do this no more and maybe not have to do that no more because I'm being successful. So if you allow failure to have that place in your life, you will remain humble during your success. Because even though I fail at things still, I still have success in other areas because I'm learning from the old failure. I'm always going to make new mistakes. I'm human. I'm always going to fail at something. I'm human. So now I accepted that. So now I use that just like I used people. I used people to get whatever I wanted. And I was good at it. So now I use negativity to give me a positive mindset by learning from the negativity. So you got to welcome negativity, believe it or not, because it's coming. So you got to welcome it so you're prepared for it. So we got.
I was going to say, do you think it's also like the reason why you might stop going for your goal if you're not seeing it is because you lose faith in yourself, or like you stop believing in yourself?
Yeah, we lose faith, we stop believing. But a lot of times why we lose faith and we stop believing is because we're allowing the failure to define.
Okay.
And we're basing our success on the getting of the result rather than the success be the work to get it. There's a great quote: success comes to those who aren't looking for it.
Okay.
And that's true. Once you start working on yourself, you're going to start getting success and that you weren't even looking for. It's just going to start falling in your lap. You're going to get all these options. Options are dangerous too, by the way. Be careful. You know, in rock bottom, my only option was treatment, so it was easy to make the choice. Once you get in recovery, you got the job, you got all these options now coming. Now you start getting overwhelmed because you don't know what to take. You don't know if this is the right thing, so you know what we do sometimes? We take all of it, right? We'll take all of it and then we'll get taken out by all of it because we're not meant to do all of it right now. That's why I don't eat at the Cheesecake Factory. The reason I don't eat at the Cheesecake Factory is because the fucking menu's too big. I never know what the hell to order. There's too many options.
Crazy.
Give me, let me, go ahead.
That's called
Cheesecake.
decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue?
Yeah, there's a term.
Oh, really? I'm going to look that up. Good stuff. Thank you. Decision fatigue. I like that because that's a real thing.
Oh, I hate too many options. It makes me insane.
So I'd rather go to a restaurant that has like 10 things on the menu. And it makes it easier for me to order. But when I have too many options in my life, I procrastinate because I'm like, I don't know what to do, right? So decision fatigue, I like that. Dwelling on past failures, focusing on past mistakes instead of moving forward is a distraction. It's very hard to walk a straight line if you're looking behind.
That's my biggest one.
Very hard to
So
walk
hard.
a straight line that way if you're looking behind. You're going to sway, right? Lack of clarity. What's clarity?
Having a clear mind about who you are or what your goals are.
Clarity is basically the how, not really the why. The why doesn't really give me clarity. The why makes me actually more confused sometimes. Like, why did this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? That doesn't give me clarity. That gives me confusion. You know what gives me clarity? How did this happen to me again? What didn't I do to prevent this from happening to me again? You see the clarity in the action rather than the why? I get more clarity in how than I do why. I'm just telling you that right now. Why? I blame my parents for my drug addiction. When I asked how, I seen how I created my own addiction. It gave me clarity. So just be careful when you're asking why. Try to ask how more than why. Why is going to take you to your feelings. And that's not necessarily a good place to go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, not why are you here? How did you get here? You see the difference? You see asking how did you get here is a little more clear than why are you here? You can pick a million whys. It's very specific how you got here as far as actions are concerned. If you start looking, it's very specific.
It's very obvious.
It's very specific, right? Lack of clarity, not clearly defining what you want to achieve or what steps to take. So that's the plan, right? That's the blueprint. If we don't have a blueprint, you can't build. So what is your blueprint for you? Meaning, who do you want to become? Not what do you want to get.
I like that.
That's not the blueprint that I operate on. The blueprint I operate on is, Mike, who do you want to become 30 days from now? Who do you want to be a year from now? Who do you want to be 5 years from now? Not what do you want to have a year from now,
Right.
because that's gonna fade away. It's who do I want to become? Because the better I become, believe it or not, the better things I get.
Well, and what you get doesn't make you feel happy.
It doesn't. It satisfies. It doesn't fulfill.
Right.
Money could give you happiness. You could buy happiness. I don't know why they say that. They must have never had money before. I had money before. That should make me happy. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Yes, for sure.
It satisfies you. It doesn't fulfill you.
It doesn't
Money
feel like a
will
connection.
satisfy you. Yes, it will. It will not fulfill you. That's why the most miserable people in this world are the richest people. They get satisfied, but they are not fulfilled.
So you can't buy love, but you can buy your happiness.
I believe you could buy happiness. I've done it.
But you can't buy
But it's fake happiness, right? But it is happiness. I am happy. I have the happy feeling.
When you go to bed and you go to sleep, you're happy when you.
When I was in my heyday making money, fuck yes I was. Fuck yes I was.
I wasn't like.
Shit.
I was miserable.
I was buying whatever I want, did whatever I want, drove whatever I want. I was happy. I was worldly happy. I did not have joy. I did not have peace. I did not have any of that. But I had happiness. I had worldly happiness in my life. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't happy when I had that much money. I was.
I've never been happy feeling the disconnect from Father
That's
God.
and that's everyone's walk.
Yeah.
I wasn't walking. I didn't know Christ until about 38.
I didn't either.
Oh, okay.
But when I met him, I was like, oh my God, this is happiness.
Oh, I'm saying once I met, it's fulfillment, it's joy. Happiness comes in, joy comes out. So we are actually asked to still show joy even when we're not happy. Scripture says, consider it pure joy. So what Scripture's saying is that you don't have to be happy, but you should appreciate you should have some sort of joy even though you're not happy because of what could come from it, right? So those are internal distractions. Procrastination, lack of focus, negative self-talk, fear of failure. So let's change the way we look at failure. Failure is not that you're doing it wrong. Failure means you need to change the way you're doing it. That's it. You and I, if you're like me, you got a lot of failure in your past, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you learned from that failure and got better. What did that failure actually do for you?
Made you stronger.
It gave you success. Right? So you could turn your failure into success. All we got to do is learn from it, believe it or not. Learn and apply.
Cool.
That's the best way to learn from it. Stop dwelling on past mistakes. So some external distractions, of course, social media, noise, loud or distracting sounds that make it difficult to concentrate, workplace chaos or living chaos, right? Disorganized or distracting environments that hinder productivity. Too many notifications, text messages, or emails. Believe it or not, hunger and fatigue. Hunger and fatigue can drain energy. For those of us that believe in Christ, that's also called fasting. We believe in fasting to fight the desire of the flesh, to help us get closer to God. That is like you actually fighting against your flesh. That's why people fast. It doesn't have to be there 40 days and 40 nights. It could be a 6-hour fast. Maybe you're someone like me that's an avid cigarette smoker. I try to fast 2 hours here and there, no cigarette, just to start, right? To start the fight of the flesh. So you don't have to fast the whole day. Fast a couple hours. You're going to be fighting against your flesh. Your flesh is going to tell you, I want this, I want this. And you're going to say, no, I don't, no, I don't. Right? So it'll help. Lack of planning. Not having a clear roadmap or actionable steps to achieve your goals. A lot of times we fail for a lack of planning. That's it. That's the only reason we fail. Lack of planning. External pressure, the expectations of others. Expectations of others can become a distraction.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Or what's an expectation you have of yourself that could possibly cause a distraction?
I want to be perfect.
Very good.
Jackson, yeah.
Anybody have any expectations of themselves that could possibly be a distraction?
Man, it's just like daily. Like I think about the person I want to be, and like you wake up the next morning and your normal habits make you forget it. You know what I'm saying? Just like normal life shit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very good. Or how about the expectation that you feel you got to get it all back right now?
Right, that's how I feel.
Used to be one.
It's so, yeah, and then the pressure takes you out.
The expectation, is my last chance. Is my last opportunity. That expectation
I feel
is going to
like that.
become a distraction. You're not going to allow yourself to learn from failure if you're making this the last opportunity.
Oh, I know, my family wanted me to get better too quick. Where I feel like it's too expected. I'm not, and it gives me anxiety.
Yeah? So what are some expectations people are putting on you that might be distracting you? There might be people in your life that's expecting you to do something more for yourself than you're capable of right now.
Right.
And that expectation might be a distraction. Expectations lead to disappointments.
Right.
Let people disappoint themselves right now with their own expectations. If it's not something that you're ready to walk into, if it's not something that you feel is on you, do not allow their expectation to become your reality. Because it's going to distract you. That's why it's so difficult sometimes for couples early on in recovery. Because of the expectations they have of the other one on what they need to be doing for their recovery, instead of just supporting them in their recovery. We'll have expectations of how the person should be acting and speaking and how much energy they should be putting into their lives. Those expectations inside a relationship early on in recovery, I have seen take couples out. So just something to think about, right? So external pressures, other people's opinions, letting other people's opinions dictate your life choices. I lived that for a long time. The opinion of you mattered more than the opinion of myself. So therefore I manipulated and I lied and I became whatever version I thought you needed to see and know in order for you to like me. In order for me to be able to be your friend, I manipulated and I lied. I became that's why I think I'm able to work with so many different people, because I truly believe I acted like every type of person in this world at one point or another in my life. I pretended to be something I'm not. Pretty much over almost any character personality trait you could think of, I probably pretended to be that person. One way, shape, way, form of another, right? Other people's opinions, loss of interest. What would make you lose interest, you think? What do you think could possibly make us... What do you think could possibly make us lose interest in recovery?
Too hard.
Too hard? Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Drugs, okay. Let's get spiritual, though. What could possibly make you lose interest in recovery?
Failure to enlarge your spiritual life.
Okay, good. I'll tell you what mine was. What made me lose interest is I no longer seen the value in it. Eventually, I always would stop seeing the value of doing the work. So when I stopped seeing the value of doing the work, you know what happened? I stopped doing the work. You know what happened when I stopped doing the work? I stopped getting progress. You know what happened when I stopped getting progress? I stopped creating dopamine. Dopamine is the brain's reward system for work done. right? So once I stopped doing the work, I stopped creating dopamines. When I stopped creating dopamines, do you know what happened? When I stopped creating
You
dopamine,
look for that dopamine.
I lost interest.
Yeah.
And then I went to the place that gives me dopamine.
Yeah.
Every time I lost interest in this is because I stopped seeing the value in it and I stopped being grateful for the opportunity to become a better person. Me personally, anyway.
My job right now is doing that to me, basically.
Okay.
It's like taking away from all the step work and fellowship and all that.
Not good.
People, yeah. So
Not
that's
good.
something I got to work on. Get
Yeah,
back
so
into.
now it's like, for me, I had to prioritize and the non-negotiable,
Yeah.
the important things. Like if meanings is your thing, that's non-negotiable. You gotta find a place for it. Like it became, you know what? I need this, and I also need this. Well, then what's more important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, pray on it. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I know about it. So that's the first step. Right?
That's it. Awareness is the first step, and then it won't. Since you are aware of it, the relapse now stopped. The deterioration of improvement stopped, and now that you're aware of it, you see it as a problem. So now your mind is what? Working towards solutions instead of being blind to it, going towards sabotage. So you're in the right place. Good stuff.
That can be like that can be an advantage if you're in a relationship. I'm telling you, they ain't gonna let you not know that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like if I didn't remember on my own, I would have been reminded.
Yes, and that's where it's also very beneficial to be in a relationship in recovery. If both people are working on their own recovery, then they're great together as a couple in recovery. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Because if their recovery is together, when one starts falling, they fall with them.
Wow.
But if their recovery is strong individually, when one starts falling, the other one can pick them up and walk with them.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important to have, and you guys have that. You and your girl, you guys have that, which is a blessing. Right? So other people's opinions, loss of interest, and we lose interest because we don't see the value in it. The reason we don't see the value in it is because we probably stopped doing the work. And when we stop doing the work, we stop getting the dopamine kicks from it.
So you think people are blaming the system
Yes.
of the recovery instead of what they're not doing?
Yeah, I think people blame NA and AA a lot. I think they blame a lot of programs, but how well did you work the program?
Right.
Did
'Cause
you
you can
work
learn
it?
something.
Did you work it in the way that is designed to be worked?
Understand.
If you run AA and NA the way it's designed, you don't really have. I see a lot of success. It's the people that shit on NA or AA and half-ass the steps, and the steps don't work. They don't get a spiritual awakening. They get high and they say fuck NA and fuck AA, but you didn't practice it the proper way either. There's a lot of people with Jesus.
Right.
A lot of people got ideas about Jesus, but they ain't being taught proper doctrine,
100%.
and they're not practicing it every day.
100%.
They're not reading the Bible. They're going to church on Sunday, and during the week they're living however they want to
Right.
live,
And then
right?
they think,
And they're not reading, they're not praying, they're not practicing the walk, but yet then they'll blame Jesus for not helping them.
Right.
How much are you helping him to help you,
Right.
right? Like so that's
100%.
so it's all about how we
Mindset.
practice something on depending on the results we're going to get out of it, right?
Comes down
Very
to
good stuff.
being ready to do the work or not. That's all it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do the work before you get the
You
results?
can go to church way or the AA way, but if you're
Right.
if you're not ready to do what you got to do,
It don't matter what it
It don't
is.
matter.
It don't matter what
That
it
makes
is.
sense.
You're gonna bash it.
Yep, and it's not going to work, and your failure is going to be definition of how it doesn't work, rather than if you're practicing it the right way, failure, that program is going to teach you how to get through that failure. Like Jesus helps me learn from my failure. I don't judge myself. I have grace and mercy when I make mistakes. Why? Because I'm walking with Christ.
Right.
I'm doing the work when
Right.
nobody's looking. I'm
Right.
praying, I'm reading, I'm repenting, I'm serving, I'm doing all the things I'm being asked to do. So now he's able to help me the way he's able to help me because I'm in a relationship with him. If you're not in a relationship with the program that you're practicing, you're not going to get what that relationship says you're going to get.
So I must have missed something because so you're saying that people that go to church every Sunday.
If that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
We're talking about practicing the program in the way it's designed to be practiced.
Like, are you
So
there
like
or
Jesus,
are you there?
are we just going to church on Sunday, dancing and worship music, dropping money in the tithing box, and then Sunday night we're watching porn, and Monday we're doing all the things, and we're not changing the way
Right.
then we're not practicing the program in the way it's designed. If you're going to NA and AA to 13th step, and we're not working with a sponsor and we're not practicing the steps, then you are not practicing that. So that program is not going to work for you.
Right.
So it's how we practice something that will determine the results that we will get out
Love
of
it.
it. Right? So if I
Exactly.
practice something half-ass, I get half-ass results.
Makes a lot of sense.
Right? So very good. So to stay focused on our goals, you got to start defining your goals clearly. Then break them down into smaller, manageable steps, which everyone is doing, right? So here are more detailed. Define your goals. You got to be specific. If you guys notice, when people give me action words and it's too vague, I'll dig deep into their mind. Like someone's like, "Oh, I want to practice my sobriety." Oh, cool. What does that look like? Well, that looks like me calling somebody. All right, cool. See how that was specific? So you want specifics. Because without specifics, it's very difficult to walk into something. All right? You want to write them down. Tangibilize your goals by writing them down. Do you guys have your goals written down?
No.
You should think about it. The Bible, I believe, talks about writing things down on a tablet. Right? Put your vision down on a tablet. Because when you write it down, it becomes real.
Right.
It comes out of your head to paper. That's like a form of manifestation in a
100%.
sense, right?
Yeah.
And then once you put it to paper and you keep reading it, your mind is now going to start processing it. And steps will start to reveal themselves, right?
100%.
And know your why. Basically, what's the reason behind why you're doing this? Why are you really doing this? To me personally, I personally think the why should always change, and that's just my own personal opinion. People are like, you shouldn't do this for your kids, you should do it for yourself. I believe your why could be your kids, your why could be the job, your why could be that, but you are the how. Your why isn't going to keep you clean, your why is going to give you motivation to keep going. You are the how. Your kids could be why you're doing it, but your kids ain't going to keep you clean. You must keep yourself clean, right, in a sense. Your job ain't going to keep you clean. Your job will motivate you to go to work, but you still got to get up and go to work. So me personally, my whys are always changing. The how hasn't changed since the beginning, though. I'm the how. Me and Jesus is the how, right? So any questions so far?
Somebody's cleaning the kitchen.
So, create an action plan. Develop detailed action plans. Imagine trying to build the Empire State Building without a blueprint.
They didn't build it when they said they didn't.
Imagine trying to build what you're in right now without a blueprint.
It's so hard.
It would be very, very difficult. So what is your blueprint? How are you building your structure? What are things you need to work on? What are things you need to learn? What are some things you need to ignore? We need to write these things down. I'm a huge advocate for journaling. I'm a huge advocate for writing things down. If you're doing it, then you know why I say it. If not, try it out. It doesn't have to be an essay when you journal. It could just literally be the thoughts in your head out on paper, and that's it. Because that's how I started. It's called free writing. Every thought that came in my head, I wrote it down. It didn't make no sense. But when I went back to read it, I started to find things about myself through the different things I was writing, right? You want to track progress. If you have a business and you don't have books, how long is that business going to last? Not long. If you don't have P&L statements, profit and loss statements,
Right.
that business is not going to last.
Right.
If you don't have data on revenue, that business is not going to last. If the IRS came to you and you were a business and the IRS said, let me see your books for the last year, what would you have to provide? Where have you made progress? Where haven't you made progress? How did you make that progress? Like these things, if you could write them down, it will make your life a lot easier. It'll take less time trying to figure things out because you already got it figured out because you've been writing it down. Every morning I wake up, the to-do list is already written for me. I write my to-do list the night before
to do that.
for the next day.
I used
So
to
when
do
I wake up, I'm walking into my to-do list. When I wake up, I'm not figuring out my to-do list. It's already figured out for me. Why? So when I wake up, I already have purpose and productivity from the minute I open up my eyes. I'm walking right into my to-do list, and I'm walking throughout the day. So to-do lists, I think 45% of people that use a to-do list succeed more than if you don't.
100%.
Right? So establish routines, daily routine. Develop a daily routine that supports your goals. That's important. Develop a daily routine that supports your goals. And then schedule dedicated time for working on your goals. So that means you're allowed to have leisure. All right? You're allowed to have leisure time throughout the day. You're allowed to do what you want during the day. Especially if you already have it scheduled, dedicated work on your goals. For instance, you're in group from 9 to 12. You have dedicated this time to work on yourself. So after this, you can go take an hour or two and go do what you want. Enjoy yourself. And then after those 2 hours, have something else scheduled in your day that helps you towards your goals. And then when you're done with that, go take another 2 hours to go do what you want to do for yourself. It's the rhythm of investing time and spending time. Investing money, spending money. It's fun to spend money, no? But if we're spending money and we ain't making money, what's going to happen? You're going to go broke. So if you're going to spend time on things you like, you must also invest time in things that will make you better in the same day. So then this way, you don't go broke. And you don't feel like anything, like you just did what you wanted, and now at the end of the day, you feel like shit because you didn't work on yourself.
So that keeps us balanced.
That's how I keep myself balanced. It's a rhythm. I don't like the word balance. I use the word rhythm. Right? Balance makes me think I have to have everything on the same plane, and that's not how my life works. Right now, some things in my life need more attention than other things. So, balancing my work life and my Christian life, I don't balance it. My Christian life is more than my work life. Right. So I'm not putting them on the same level. I need more rhythm in my Christian life than I do in my work life. Right? So I don't have a balance of it. I have a rhythm of it.
Makes sense.
Right? So there's a difference. So daily routine, develop a daily routine that supports your goals. Schedule dedicated time for working on these goals. Identify your distractions. Do you know what your distractions are? If not, start writing them down. When you're getting distracted throughout the day, go to your phone and write down, you know what, I got distracted when I was thinking about this in my past. I got distracted when I was thinking about this person. Just start writing them down in your phone right now. Why? Because the first step is awareness. And once you know you're distracted, then it won't distract you as long as it used to. You will get yourself out of the distraction sooner, the more and more you realize the distraction. But if you're not aware, how are you supposed to do better if you don't know better? So the first step is awareness, always. All right? And then practice mindfulness, imagine success, and positive self-talk. All right? Any questions? So if there's anything you take from today, if there's only one thing you leave with, this is what I want you to leave with. The key is to consistently engage in practices that reinforce our desired mindset. What I ams do you want to start operating on? What good I ams? That is your desired mindset. Once you get the good I am, what must you consistently practice for you to actually start to believe that I am? I am confident? Cool. Then you're going to have to consistently, when you tell yourself you're going to do something, you got to do it. You got to stop lying to yourself if you want to be confident. So in order for me to be I am confident, I must consistently engage in being honest with myself. And telling myself when I'm going to go do something, I go do it. All right? No questions? All right. Thank you guys. Tonight, anyone wants to come worship and prayer at the church every Thursday night now. Starting tonight's the first night.
What time?
6:30 p.m. So come. It'll just be worship music, us praying on each other, hanging out. The church needs to start praying as a church, our church, because if we're not praying together and we're not crying together and we're not laughing together and eating together, we got to do all those things together in order to be able to become a church under one accord.
So it's not on Saturdays no more?
No, Saturday night service we still got. Saturday at the beach. We're adding a day during the week right now. So Thursday 6:30. There might be more to come, but right now that's what we're gonna go with.
Love it.
So tonight 6:30 p.m. Let everybody know. All right.
Good.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you.